Oh, we're here.
We're here. We're back.
Oh, great.
I scared you on that one. So this week, Utopia.
Right. It was only one day this week. Did you keep up?
I mean, it was hard, but I did. I did. It was, I didn't get my little Tuesday fill to really get me through.
I was kind of sad because there's nothing on TV on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is just like a dead night of television, and there was at least Utopia. But
don't worry, soon coming up, there's going to be Iron Chef Jr. or Master Chef Jr. or whatever that is.
Oh, right. Do you watch that?
No, not I watch Master Chef. I don't watch Junior. Any of the Junior stuff. Like
I find it more entertaining than the adults.
See, I can imagine, like you said last week about Kid Nation. I get the concept of that and why I would think that is good. But other than that, watching a bunch of little kids try to cook stuff, I don't know. I want to see if they're gonna do one of those shows where the kids get on there and cook, do a Hell's Kitchen, and I want Ramsey to make
you want just Ramsey, just you little fucking shit.
Every one of them's gonna cry by the end of the first episode.
I mean, they cry. If you're there to see them cry, they still cry.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I do like watching kids cry.
You just want to see the kids cry. So this week they brought in two new people in Utopia. Katie and Panama Jack. What the hell's his name?
Cal.
Oh, right.
But yes, Panama Jack. Guy who makes his own clothes.
Yeah. Did he not? He was dressed like the guy, like he was Panama Jack.
Yeah,
like exactly. I'm pretty sure he was sponsored by Panama Jack.
I think one of them actually called him Panama Jack at some point.
Or maybe it just subconsciously, yeah.
It's for those of you wondering, yes, I have a green screen. No, there's nothing on it right now. Obviously, green screen woes from last week. My eyes, they're normal.
So what the hell? Okay, that's why I didn't only understand. What are your eyes green at some point? So, like what the hell?
My invisible floating cup was also blue, and it's a green screen, as you can tell. But I obviously have something not going quite right here. The first time I ever tried, I had a lot of people.
It was my favorite time you were just like drinking from Wonder Man's airplane.
I had a lot of people ask. They're like, "Jeff, are you dumb enough that you used a white sheet as a green screen?"
Yeah.
No, I didn't. But somehow my black shirt, my blue cup, and my white eyes turned into a green screen. Look, a cup. This isn't the same cup, but it's a real cup.
Oh, it's also it's still invisible.
It is kind of invisible. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, but anyways, we'll get that sorted out at one point. But for this time, you get green.
I just have a room. I live in the house with walls.
I also live in one of those, but
no, you don't. Don't lie.
I go out to the middle of the street and throw the green screen up to record. I just like the feeling of being outside.
Imagine it's just like on the sidewalk.
They're just walking by like, what is this asshole doing over there? Like, he's blocking traffic in DC. In hours. So anyways, Panama Jack and whatever the hell her name is that you are.
Katie, Boobs McGoo is what I end up calling her.
Boobs McGoo. Yeah, she had some huge boobs, that's for sure. Which is also ironic because I'm looking at the other picture coincidentally right now of that chick who got canned from the show before it even started. There's a theme with blondes with these ridiculously big boobs that they were trying to put on this show. I mean, I get it for the ratings and all, but obviously it's not going so well for them.
No, it's not working out. So the moment she enters into the place, Rob hates her. He hates her immediately.
He does.
Why? I decided that he was attracted to her, and he was also sexually frustrated, and that his fiance's on the way, right? She's coming in the next night, and so he wants nothing to do with this woman because he's in fear of what his penis is thinking. And so he's going to treat her like crap so that she wants nothing to do with him. That's what I decided because they didn't give us any other context to go on.
So I don't know about his initial reaction because I don't know what was initially said before we saw it on camera and things like that. But I do have to say, he calls her out in some of these meetings and it makes perfect sense. Like at first I was like, man, he's being a dick. And then when he said something, I was like, he's absolutely right. She's talking about being this single mom and how she just needs to take care of her kids. And that's the only thing she can do. And that's why I came to Utopia, to be away from them for the next year and I mean, and he called her out on that shit. He was like, if that's really what you got to do, why are you here and not home with your kids? And everybody's like, Rob, that was so mean, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And he's like...
Well, she said right before that she only works 8 hours a week.
Yep. But as a topless house cleaner, though.
Right, topless house cleaner. That's why she had the name Boobs McGoo. But, yeah, I mean, yes, he was right with everything he said. He was just, like, angry and mean.
I mean...
He just hated her. He hated her.
He did. I'm not... Sexually frustrated, yes. Attracted to her, maybe. She's not... I didn't think she was a bad-looking girl at first when she got there, and then the more and more they showed her, I was like, she's not nearly as attractive as they really made her.
Well, the more and more they showed her, the less and less makeup she had on.
That's probably true.
Part of it.
That's probably true, and that big thing showed a lot more. You didn't see that big, like, she had this huge mole, like, right here? That,
no.
It became more and more. You could see it at the beginning. And, you know, girls with, like, little moles and things like that you can tell, like, that their little thing can be very attractive. And at first, when she walked in the door, I was like, oh, she's one of those girls that's got that distinguishing mark, like the distinguishing mole. And then, you know, you're probably right. And the more and more it showed her, the less and less makeup she had on. And all of a sudden, it was just like, molly, 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 molly. You know? It wasn't even a mole. It was just like this skin impurity. I don't know.
She was growing Ebola.
She could have been. Maybe that's why.
You know what? To me, all she was a younger Bella. To me, like everything about her, to me, was like a less pronounced and younger version of Bella. Like she was crazy in all the same ways. I guess is the best way I know to put it. Like.
See, I'm trying to think of her actions. I would almost put Cal more into the Bella category because he's the one that came in and was like, look, a garden. This is how we have to do it. But he didn't do it in the same way. Well, but he didn't really
push that. I mean, he kind of pushed, you know, he showed, God, I can't remember the guy's name, but he showed the guy how to use the pickaxe, stuff like that. But no, like,
honestly, let's stop on that for a minute. Who's that dumb that doesn't understand the concept that it's going to be heavier? If I grab it from the very end, it's going to be heavy to lift up, whereas if I grab it closer to the heavy part, I'll be able to lift it up easier. Is he that dumb?
I guess he doesn't. Well, it's not that he's that dumb. He's not. He hasn't spent enough time outside. He lives in a city, and maybe he grew up in a city, and he's a lawyer. He doesn't do a lot of pickaxing.
Okay, maybe from an outside perspective, when he watched somebody else do it, he was like, "Oh, I wonder why people don't pick it up like this." And then the second he picks it up, your mind goes into a state of, "This is hard. This is easier." I mean, it takes you 10. He's a lawyer,
right?
He's a freaking lawyer.
I mean, Cal watched the guy do it wrong, right?
Yeah.
And he just came over and said, "Hey, you're doing it wrong."
At least that's what they showed you on TV.
Well,
I don't believe that went down like they claim it did. Any stretch of the imagination, just because I have a little bit more faith in humanity understanding how to make something easier just by doing it. Like, I don't know.
I've seen a lot of stupid people do a lot of stupid shit. You ever worked in the food industry?
Yep. For a very long. I worked at McDonald's for 9 years of my life.
Well, then you have to have seen every day new idiots coming in and out doing the dumbest shit, and you're like, how the fuck are you not dead?
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
I'm pretty sure natural selection should have ended you and all your sisters and brothers.
You're right. Okay, I give the benefit of the doubt to Cal for teaching him how to use a pickaxe.
So, you know, last week we were talking about the subreddit and the live show, and I've actually followed the subreddit every day of this week because they have a thread on there for the live show, and apparently there's 135 cameras on the the compound, and they can't even get enough viewers to have a viewer for every camera. They can't even have they have, but recently they don't even have 135 people watching the live stream.
Wow.
The live stream is also censored in that if they start talking about something they think they're going to put on the TV show, they cut the audio. So like you'll be watching, all of a sudden there's no audio. And it's like, what the fuck? And the answer is, well, we might include this in the TV show, so we're not going to let you see it on the live stream. But I knew about the wedding. I knew everything that was going to happen this week ahead of time because I've been following every day on the Reddit. And there's some interesting things that people are tracking on Reddit that they're not showing us on the TV show that I would find way more interesting. Like, for instance, the chef, the Cracker Barrel line cook, doesn't wash his hands. Ever.
Yeah, that got brought up last time, that you had just glanced over that article.
Yeah. Well, they keep a tally of it. Like, oh, well, there he goes again. You know, he's cooking the food. He just peed. He didn't wash his hands. So the chef doesn't wash his hands, and he also has favoritism for the food. When he hands out the food, he gives himself more because they ration it apparently. Like for breakfast, you each get 2 slices of bacon, a scoop of eggs, blah blah blah. Apparently, they don't show this on the show, but apparently, like last week, he slid like another 4 extra slices of bacon under his toast for himself, and he gave some girl, I don't remember which one, I should have wrote it down, but he gave one of the girls an extra slice of bacon too.
So I would definitely find that way more entertaining as well,
right?
Because you're going to show the controversy about to like it's building up to that like controversy of that kind of explains more on why he actually got a couple votes in the last episode to go, and I was kind of like, man, nobody talks bad about Aaron really that much from what they're showing.
What has he done?
Yeah, why did 3 people vote for him? That didn't make any sense to me. But
another interesting thing, you know how Rob was kind of over the top a lot in this last episode, like he was almost bipolar, where one minute he's okay, next minute he's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he pulled a red, man. That was insane.
Freaking out about dirty dishes. Well, apparently, this was his week to be president or whatever. The producers made him reshoot his meeting 5 times because it wasn't interesting enough.
Jesus.
So this is the type of shit that's going on behind the scenes that you can actually see on the live stream. Apparently, also not Bella, but the other girl, Bree, right? That's the one that almost got voted out.
Yeah.
Well, they cut her off in the middle of her saying, "None of this shit really matters. This shit's gonna be canceled soon, anyways." And they switched the camera away from her really quick on the live stream, saying that. So there's all these little things that if you watch the live stream, there's a lot. It's a sinking ship basically, and everyone can see it sink.
Can you watch any of the cameras you want?
I don't know. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like they're selecting you can't like go like I'm going to go to camera 132. But it sounds like to some degree you can because there's 2 different streams and one is more censored than the other. Like they're more of the primetime cameras, I guess. I don't really know exactly how it works because obviously we haven't done it. I'm just based on what I've read on the Reddit.
What happens when people have sex?
They must censor it because they censor nudity too, apparently.
That's man. I really need to go watch that live stream one of these days.
Yeah, I just want it because it's only what $5 a month or something.
Yeah, it's cheap, but at the same time, I wish I had bought it a month ago because I'm gonna get my $5 worth. I'm afraid if I spend $5 now, I just wasted $4.80 of it because it's gonna get canceled next week. But how upset are you gonna be? No, I don't know how upset you're gonna be. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna buy this live stream, click, and you're gonna be like, look, there they all are leaving the compound.
Right.
Wait, what just happened?
Stream before they cancel the show, I imagine. I would pay for the live stream if I thought I was going to get the chance to watch the show get canceled live. Like them come in and be like, "All right, guys, this was a failed fucking thing. Bye."
So when they make them reshoot these I almost call them tribal councils, but they're not because we're talking about their other show here. When they reshoot the meetings, how do they let them know? That's there's the producers are supposed to be getting involved.
I'm just going on what I've read on Reddit, but I mean the people that were commenting on it made it sound very clear. Like they knew the producers told them to redo it. So I almost feel like the producers walk on set and are like, "Wasn't good enough. Do it again."
I don't know. I wonder if you can see that on the live stream as well.
Yeah, I wonder if you actually see. A lot of people were talking on the Reddit about how they wish that there was cameras just for the producers because they want to see them like freaking out about how bad the show's going.
Now think of it this way: if there's not even 1 viewer per camera that's there, think of the people that are running this Reddit. There's like a solid hardcore group of like 50 people who are like, we must make Utopia Reddit awesome because
no, that's the thing too. Like everyone on there is like, this is a big waste. This is we're all here to watch this fail. That's what everyone is talking about. How soon is it going to fail? Think it's going to fail today? Well, it'll be failed by the end of the month at least. Like that's all they're there for. They're all there waiting for it. They're all there for the train wreck.
You know
they just know what's coming.
You know how they have like celebrity death pools? Can we somehow start a like TV show death pool and like everybody?
Yeah.
This one would only get you like a half a point though, because everybody knows it's going down. Whereas like if you bet on Survivor in your death pool and then all of a sudden next season was canceled, you'd be getting like 70 points out of that baby.
Just going back to KDB and Bella, because I don't feel like I convinced you here. I'm not trying to convince you, but okay. So they have the same eating habits. Katie immediately tried to do the same thing Bella does. She came in and went to each of the places that Bella goes to work and tried to do the stuff, and everyone treated her the same way they treat Bella. Like, go away, Nat. Get out of my hair. Like, just her philosophy on life to me seemed like they were kind of the same person to some degree. Like, I think in 10 years, she's going to be Bella. like crazy
I mean,
sun with plants. I don't know.
I mean, I can see that as well, and I was kind of curious why everybody like ostracized her right away when she was out there trying to help. And all we really caught off of what they showed you on TV was they thought she talked too much and she had a really loud voice. And I don't know, like that kind of came to me out of nowhere because everybody was like Josh, especially at first, was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sleep with this chick because I'm, not gonna get another chance." And
Oh yeah.
they keep, he kept going after her, and then all of a sudden, the next scene, she's in the barn or whatever trying to talk to somebody, and they're all like, "God, she talks so much," and I'm like, "But she's just been with Josh for like half
Right.
the
Well,
episode.
like
I
they
don't know what
all went down
happened."
to the water too, and like they're like, you want to go swimming?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm just getting naked." And then they all leave. Like, what the fuck was that all about? Like, it was almost like, I don't know. That scene was really weird to me. Like, she's now in the lake or pond, and everyone else has just pieced out.
Yep, they are giving Josh his space, even though it doesn't seem like he sealed the deal.
Well, he didn't even. He left. He was like, he didn't even get the water.
He left after a while. They were sitting on the side. He starts trying to make out with her and trying to feel her up, and she was like doing a subtle way that girls try to stop you. "Oh, your hands are too cold," and he kept saying, "Well, warm them up then." And she's like, "No, your hands are too cold." She ended up like, she completely like shot him down, and then he was like, "Okay, let's go back to the barn." All dejected. Nah, I couldn't sleep with the blonde chick. Yeah, you must have missed that.
Well, I'm looking at my notes here. Well, I was talking about whenever Rob's fiance gets there, she looked a lot like Katie too. The only difference was the brown hair, but like body type, face, they were very similar. That's what reinforced, I think, my idea that he was sexually frustrated, and that's why he brought his anger towards Katie. I don't know. This is just what I decided, and I wrote it down.
So, I mean, I can see that. I can see that, but I don't know. I think there was a lot of crazy editing in that one to not really understand what happened, and we'll never know because spoiler alert, she didn't make it. Like she's
right. And it was weird because at first it seemed like everyone was going towards her. Right, we're gonna definitely bring her in. Right. Cal's just this weird side quiet guy that might eat us all. In fact, they said a couple of times he might be a cannibal. And then Cal does the whole thing with the garden and basically tells Bella, "Fuck off, go paint or something. Shut up, leave me alone. Yep. I got this."
Yep.
And then now Bella's like, "Fuck no, we cannot have this Cal guy, and he's probably going to eat us all." Then Cal comes and talks to Bella, and he's like, "I'm sorry. And last night, just to show that we have a connection that's deep. Whenever you went to sleep, whenever you came to bed, I started having dreams."
Yeah, that's not even dreams about you.
Yeah, no, I just dreamed.
Right. And
like, how does he even know this is when she came to bed?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, and she bought it.
Yeah, she was like, it's meant to be. You must come and Utopia with us.
Yeah. And then like that's what she did with Josh. At first, she was like, for some reason, at that initial like meeting, if they were gonna kick him out or not, she's like, "Oh yeah, we should give him a second chance." And the second he walked out the door, she's like, "I can't live with a guy like this. He must go." And then they became like best friends. She voted like adamantly against him, and then within 2 hours, he went up to her and he was like, "Look, I'm sorry the way I acted." And she's like, "Oh my God, he's the best man ever." She's bipolar. There's no question about that.
She's legitimately crazy. Like the way she sits in the corner and talks to her and gives herself pep talks and answers herself and hugs herself. That shit's just crazy. She's just crazy.
Yeah, but luckily she was one of the 14 that was in from the beginning because I don't think she'd win a vote. I don't think she'd win a vote if she had to like come on that show, and she'd come on way too strong. Which is what I guess Katie did to people, came on too strong.
How do you feel whenever people give a speech and they have a piece of paper in front of them, they're reading off of it? To me, I get angry. I'm like, I instantly have it's like I stereotype you. I have a less opinion of you because I don't think you're smart enough to remember a speech well enough to present it to people and tell them how you feel. So I'll automatically like downgrade you a little bit on intelligence level, and then I almost feel like I'm being like something's being forced on me a little bit too, because you took the time to write it down and now you're just reading. I don't know, like whenever Katie came out with that piece of paper, or anytime someone comes out to give me a speech or tell me something and they're reading off a piece of paper, especially the tone of her shit too, that didn't help. But just, I mean, instantly I'm already like, well, you're an idiot because you can't remember your shit. And now you're, I don't know, like, I don't like it when people read their speeches off of paper.
I agree with you in most cases.
I mean, like the president giving a huge thing on the teleprompter. I get it.
Right. But I mean, this is something you're supposed to be out there saying your feelings and saying why. Like, why do you think this? Like, come from your heart. And she comes with a piece of paper. Hex did that at the, what the hell meeting was it? Was it one where they were voting somebody out? And
I think that's why I instantly hated Hex. Like, yeah, from because I never have liked Hex. I know that's one of your favorites, but to me, I can't stand it.
Yeah, I think Hex is fun, but I think she's a lot more rational than most people give her credit for. I don't know, but yeah, and not only that Katie chick, she came out with the paper like this, and if you're gonna come out with a piece of paper and give a speech because you can't remember what you wrote, then don't read it like this. So I think that what I feel is that you are not I mean, it's just like you're not even. It's obviously not even that it's just giving you the help in the notes that you need to remember a point that you wanted to make. You're literally just reading in the most like scripted way. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes the feeling. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So Cal is crazy as Panama Jack is, guy who makes his own clothes and all this like weird stuff. Okay, I can get behind that. He lives off the land, you know, he's one of those type of people. To each their own. What was the deal with him and Nikki? I don't get that. He proposed a 1-year relationship with her.
Yeah, that was super awkward, right? Yeah, I didn't even write that down because it was almost like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, and she was like, well, you don't mean like to have sex, right? And he was like, well, yeah, maybe, you know, if that so happens. It's like, what are you proposing then? You're proposing we're friends for a year? You're proposing.
I don't.
What? He didn't even like give the details. It was just like, let's sign a you want to sign a contract? Let's sign a contract.
Well, and the sad thing is, at the beginning, or excuse me, during this episode, I don't recall any other edits where they even talked to each other. And all of a sudden, they're in a field, and he's like, "I'd like to be in a relationship with you for the next year." And by the way, you haven't even voted me in yet, and it's been a day. And I mean, I guess he picks a good chick to go after. She's attractive. She is a sex therapist, which I found really funny that she's not a sex therapist, but she's like that whole healing through sex thing is like what her medical science has led her to believe. I don't, it's very strange. You're looking very puzzled. Do you not remember this from earlier?
I must have missed this too.
Yeah, it was like the first or second episode. She is somebody who completely believes that sex is the healing power of it. She's a doctor, but she's like, sex is healing, and I run like...
Is she a vet?
No.
Am I thinking of the wrong person? Who am I thinking? Oh, I'm
thinking of... She's a yoga instructor and holistic doctor.
Right.
So... for her, I'm surprised because that's what Josh approached her at one point and said, "Hey, we should have sex," and she was like, "Well, maybe." She didn't tell him no right away. She was like, "Yeah, well, maybe." And I'm surprised that she's not all about like this guy. Like he wants to have this relationship with me, and the first thing I'm going to say, as somebody who loves sex that much that I think it's healing, is we're not having sex, right? Like obviously she was not interested. But then they never showed what she voted.
Yeah.
And I was so waiting to see, what did she vote? Because if she voted for the chick to stay, obviously she wants nothing to do with this dude.
Right. This sex is not happening. Yeah.
But because she really did a good job of like laughing it off and kind of like skimming past like.
Yeah, let's not make this too awkward.
So now that he's going to be there, though, do you think there's going to be a lot more banging going on?
Oh, man.
I don't know. What'd you think about their decision?
To vote him in over, I mean, it was the better of the two choices, though. I still don't. I felt like he went in like I would play Survivor almost, where I know how to win the game. I feel like, but I also know not to say too much right away because you don't want to become the leader. You don't want to tell everyone you need to build a shelter,
and you don't want people to know that you're truly a cannibal.
Right? I mean, exactly. You gotta hide the truth from eating people. So. He worries me a little bit because I think he is like Jeffrey Dahmer, basically. So, I have a feeling that he's got like a little bit of something in him that we haven't seen yet.
So, do you think in this show is anything like Survivor, and you're allowed to tell people what you want to tell people? Like Tony, cops are bad. I'm a construction worker. Like for some reason, he went on that whole thing during his season of Survivor. Do you think these people are allowed to come in and maybe he's not even like some holistic dude who makes all his own clothes? He was like, "Yeah, I got this shit at Goodwill. I got this perfect character. I'm gonna play when I get there."
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, they might be allowed to just be whatever hell they want to be. They're all paid actors anyways, right?
I mean, promoting, yeah, most likely you're right. So they're all nothing like they say they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I think it's weird they're writing a constitution too. Like, who told them to do that? Did they decide to do that? They just were suddenly doing it, kinda. Like this whole.
Based on what you're saying about having to reshoot meetings and things like that, I bet you they were pushed toward doing something like writing this constitution. But I didn't even write any of these down. But let's make a constitution that basically says everybody be nice to each other.
Right. That's basically I started to write them down too, and I was like, it's not important.
Yeah, it's
just as important as like Rob telling everyone that you now have to wash your dishes immediately. You cannot let them sit beside the sink. No one did that.
Nobody did that at all. Which is what like. What is your thought on that? On that yourself when you make a meal?
Okay, so like I eat. I don't instantly wash my dishes. I do a load of dishes. We don't have a dishwasher. Do you have a dishwasher? So we don't have a dishwasher. So we wash our dishes like they did in the 1940s.
Living like archaically, like
right?
How can you survive?
So I don't know why we don't have a dishwasher. There's no legitimate reason. We just don't. Anyways, so yeah, no, we wash our dishes in a load, like once a night, basically. Not like all right, I've had breakfast.
But it's still like once. Is it like once a day?
Yeah. It's pretty much every night while I'm recording.
I'm one of those people who, even when I cook something, I try to clean the pot and pan even before I eat because I hate when it just sits there.
Yeah, when you're cooking. Yeah. Okay, now that's true. Whenever I'm like cooking supper, well, I don't really like cooking anymore. But when I'm cooking supper, if you're done with that pan, and go ahead and wash that, get it out of the way, because it's gonna be too much for a load anyways. You know what I mean? Like if you start having more dishes that are gonna fit in the sink, then you've exceeded your load.
Yeah, it would drive me insane with all the people on this place not cleaning up their dishes.
Yeah, no, I think in the situation like this, I think it's completely different. It's like you're now living in like a dorm room with a shared kitchen or something, and you probably should, if you use a bowl, wash the bowl, put the bowl away immediately, pretty much. Now, in the case where Rob lost his shit, it almost seemed like they had just had breakfast. They'd sat down. She was gonna. It was Vex. I always call her Vex. I don't know why.
Man, Vex is on Utopia?
It was Hex. Hex. Yeah, I think that she was going to get to it. I think she was. I don't know. I feel like she was. And he just come in. But again, I felt like Rob was on edge because the whole show started out where the producers made him reshoot his damn thing being president 5 times.
I'd be a little bit pissed off.
Right, so I almost felt like everything he was a little bit over the top. Like, even at the final meeting, whenever Katie's talking, he's just like, shut your fucking mouth and leave! And it's like, why are you freaking out? Like, he was ready to stab somebody, and I think it was just because he's trying to trying to make good TV at this point.
As well as he does have Napoleon syndrome, for sure.
Yeah.
Which it was funny when somebody said, like, oh, God, who was it that was you talking to?
It was
Hex. She says, like, you and all Napoleon Bonaparte in there, and he's like, thanks for the reference, Hex. Yeah. Like... I mean,
was after the whole dishes thing. But what was funny about that is she kept, in that same discussion where she told me she went to Napoleon Bonaparte, she was, yeah, you know what I was trying to say.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. She was telling him, you don't understand. This is the first time people have really reached out because of me and my jewelry, and they really love my jewelry. No, they don't care about your jewelry at all. I'm sure it's all garbage. They care because you're on some shitty television show. The same reason why they'll pay $40 to come and sleep with you, which is cheaper than, like, really, that's pretty fucking low to sleep with someone. I'm pretty sure if you go, like, on, like, an escort site or something, it's more than $40. This is the cheapest prostitution ring in the country right now.
Cheapest somehow legal prostitution ring at that. I mean, everything's videotaped and somehow maybe
that's why it's not. I've always read if you're paying for sex, use a camcorder and then say you didn't pay for sex, you paid for professional services when you're making a video, and then it's legal. So maybe that's how they've legalized all this.
That's true. Man, maybe Utopia is actually, they really don't care if the show does well. It's a front for something else that's going on.
Maybe they're gonna make a porn eventually. Maybe this is like the opening, and then like
Can you imagine the whole thing is not a social experiment about if these people can live together? It's a social experiment of how quickly and how many times people will sleep together. Like in this
That's
setting.
basically what it feels like, though. I mean, even like this guy that, Panama Jack comes in, and he doesn't even know if he's getting voted in or not, but he's like, I need to seal a fucking contract before somebody else comes in and encroaches on this one untapped woman, basically. Because right now there's already Josh here, and he's trying to get with somebody, so I got to come in and secure, because otherwise I'm gonna be stuck with Bella, and nobody wants that. So I swear this whole show is nothing about. It's all about sex, and I've wondered if the producers coach them on that. Like, you know what sells on TV? Sex. I'm surprised they haven't gotten Cats yet.
I didn't realize that besides Crazy Bella, that she is the only one that's not. Oh no, I guess you got Kristen, but I'm not sure which way she swings.
Right, I've kind of wondered that too. Yeah, Kristen is almost like.
I think she made some comment once about her boyfriend though. And it threw me off because I was almost positive she was like an open lesbian when she walked in the door.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just stereotyping hairstyles and things like that.
Right.
It's bad. It's bad to do. I wasn't doing it in a negative way either. It's like to each their own. I have no problem with people who have that lifestyle. It's just that's why I pinned her as that, and I think that she tried to prove it wrong. But I don't know this show, man. I'm curious to see what. Okay, so one last thing to say about this, and I think we could probably be done with Utopia. I was just at their website looking for pictures. Here it is. I'm going to click on the link and find out what it does. There's a Become a Utopian button. How many people do you think apply for this thing? If they have less than like 100 people watching these like feeds, I can't imagine that it's a really...
Are you going to apply?
No, fuck no. I don't want to have anything to do with this show. Like,
Wait! No, fuck no! God no, please no!
This would be...
The thing is, either one of us would instantly go with Survivor.
Yeah.
Like,
Survivor all the way. I'm gonna work my ass off the next couple of weeks to try to get an audition tape like put together again. But this show, they could call me right now and be like, Jeff, saw you guys doing this podcast about Utopia. You'd be great on the show. I'd be like, yeah, fuck you. Like,
no, just no.
Well, maybe if you can give me the online feed for free. Otherwise, I'm not going to watch it either because $5 is out of my price range for this thing.
$5 is out.
Yeah, I probably made more than $5 just from this podcast that I'm doing. But nope, it's can't waste that money on something stupid like this. What is it? Make a video, save a picture, completely fill out a form. You'll be notified if you're chosen. I guess that's the same, just like the standard old casting process for these things. And what is the... Oh, good God. There's a lot of questions that asked you in the application. I would be curious to apply and wonder if you, like, instantly get a call because they're like, oh, my God, you're the first person in a month to do this. We need somebody to...
Please come.
Yeah, please.
You know what? I think I would go. I don't think I would get voted in, though, so I think it'd be safe. It'd be a safe bet.
I think the concept of what they're doing would be a lot of fun to kind of just start your own society and see how you get along with people. But that's not what the show is doing. They're just fucking crazy people getting pushed one direction or the other, taking the most extreme circumstances from all these different, like, I don't know.
Their Love Shack's almost done, though.
That's true. Their Love Shack is almost done.
It's a little place where they can get together.
Yep. Love Shack, baby. So, anything else about Utopia, or shall we switch roles on this one?
On to Survivor.
Yes. Survivor. Have to switch the logo to get the right logo up in the corner.
Oh, boy.
So,
there should be, because there's like this empty black box on one's. I feel like you should have something else up there. I don't know what. Like
should I put both logos up?
Maybe. If I get confused, like, which one are they talking about now?
That's true. They could.
Yeah,
I should put something else up there. I don't know what. Like, obviously, this show is well thought out.
Enough, if like 100,000 people are watching, I should say, like, if we're talking about like Drew, then a picture of Drew should go there. And then, you know what I'm saying?
So that was sadly originally my idea for this thing, and I had started getting all these pictures of people and setting them up in OBS so I could click a button and have them like show up. And then I was like, damn, this is too much work, and this is, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I'll work on this next week. And I think I'm losing. So I should set that up for Survivor at least, because That one I know is going to go to the end and going to be worth it and not actually be good.
A bit the problem, right? You don't know. This is like this show hinges on a dying show to some degree,
and it's putting that minimal amount of effort into Utopia. Like it's
live stream. Oh man!
God, don't you?
If I thought I'd have time to watch even a minute of it, I would actually spend the $5. But I don't think I would. I think I'd be pretty bored because I get bored watching the show that's been edited. So I think I would be like, man, what are they doing? They're just sitting there.
Look, they're sleeping. eating popcorn, just like staring at the screen.
Oh, he moved. Is he waking up?
Wait. I think that was a dream he's having. And Bella must be in the room.
Bella must be nearby.
Oh Jesus!
All right, so Survivor.
So actually, actually entertaining. Thank God.
You don't have any audio. I can't hear you anymore.
Oh shit,
Jeff, I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Good. I'm back, everybody. For those of you who were afraid, I didn't lose my voice. Again,
you're just your lips are moving. It was like made it packs again.
So Survivor,
right? So we immediately we go. It starts off, and Drew is there. It's the pretty boy. I don't remember. I can't remember which tribe is which. But anyways, and he's complaining about the roof because the monsoons are coming. We got to get the roof fixed. We got to weave some new shit, and everyone's like, yeah, you're right. The rain is coming. We got to fix it. They get to weave, and he goes to sleep.
Yeah, he decided that weaving is not for him.
No,
he's good at many things, but weaving not one of them.
So how do you feel about that? Because it happens almost every season. There's one guy.
I wrote that exact same thing down on. What do you think about people sleeping? Like, how do you not realize that puts a huge target on your back?
Right. Here's how I thought about this. Normally, it always pisses me off, and I think it's because normally it's the people that are sunbathing on the beach that are doing it.
Right.
And then they go to the challenges, and they're just as worthless there. But I was thinking about it, and I think it was last season or 2 seasons ago. There was a really big guy that was there. He was military, and he had more muscle than I have fat.
You're talking about Shamar.
And so he's probably tired more because his body's not getting the nutrients it needs to feed all those muscles. And I would think that he would need more sleep. But when he goes to challenges, if he's going to challenges, he's kicking ass, then I'm not upset, I don't think. I think once it becomes individual games, you get rid of him. But I think that if someone is so tired that they could sleep in the middle of the daytime, in the sun, in the heat, while everyone else is sitting around weaving, and then they go to challenge and they kick ass, I'm not mad. Now, if they go to challenge and they're just as worthless there, then I'm pissed. Now, if they do it every day and they sleep, I'm pissed too. But if there's like a one-off, maybe two-off type of thing where they just pass out, I'm okay with it.
No, that's another thing I wonder about the edit, though. Like, how much really was he sleeping? And I wish I really knew the answer to that question, because I've never heard them even bring that up before, and all of a sudden they show that he went to sleep instead of weaving, and everybody in their little confessional is like, God, Drew sleeps all the time. That's all he does. He doesn't help at all. And it's like, oh, first time I heard that. So I have no idea if this is really true or not.
Right.
But you're right. Somebody always does it. It often is the sunbathers, and everybody always, or not everybody, but a group of people always gets mad about it, and people still just seem to do it. Maybe when you're actually there, your mentality becomes so different. Because like you said, if you can sleep in the middle of the hot sun in the middle of the day, maybe he really is that tired that he just can't stay up.
Yeah. Like, I need very specific conditions to sleep. It must be completely dark. There should be some wind blowing. It should be kind of cool. But I need a blanket, too, so it needs to be cool enough where I can have a blanket on me, even if it's hot, and there cannot be any noise.
Guude's going to get into Survivor and be like, I must bring my fan and my blankets.
And something to cover my eye. Well, you know what? I can't. When I go to conventions, I always bring my little eye things. But then, like, you sweat inside of there, and you wake up and you have like these little oceans of sweat in your eye sockets.
But do you actually wear a blindfold at night?
I tried. I can't because of the ocean.
Well, why don't you just put some slices of cucumber under there and then put the blindfold on? Maybe a moisturizing mask.
Can you got some that? You come in, trying to wake me up. Channel time, and I got like fucking green face. Take my mask off, and then there's cucumbers under there.
You're wearing a terry cloth bathrobe, green moisturizer all around. Like, I can so picture you just like a towel on your hair, like wrapped up.
But that's why at conventions, everyone's always like, you only sleep for like 2 hours. Like, yeah, the sun came up. They couldn't do anything about it.
You
sun
always
came
are
up.
up when the sun comes up, which
Yeah.
I pity you for that because I mean, I work night shift. I have to sleep during the day all the time. So blackout curtains are definitely helpful. And that would, I can imagine that being difficult on Survivor. That is kind of amazing to me how people can sleep in so late sometimes that they complain to these people. They're like, man, this person slept in so late again while we're all doing the chores. It's like, holy shit, how did you sleep throughout the night? And then when the sun is out, like at its hottest moment, you're still just like,
Right, yeah. And everyone's all moving around, making noise. That's the other thing. If you're making noise, I'm up.
Yep.
Needs to be any quiet, or I need like a droney tone, like from a fan or something. But it needs to be mostly quiet.
So you are a fan sleeper.
Oh yeah,
lots of people like that. Not me.
You know, are you Korean?
Yep.
you know Korean.
As you can see, I'm Korean. Like
I don't know if you know about that, but Koreans believe that if you sleep with a fan on, you'll die. Like, look it up. Fan death is a big Korean superstition. Fan death, yeah. I'm not even joking about this.
Are you sure it's not talking about, like, if you're a famous Korean and you sleep with somebody who really enjoys what you do, that they might kill you?
No.
Fan death.
Yeah.
The wind, it just destroyed my skin throughout the night.
I'm trying to remember what they actually, like, what exactly it is that kills you. I can't remember now, but
the electricity bill in the morning.
right. Man, we've tangented here. So, anyways, there was that. There was a little short thing, and then they go to do their reward challenge, and John Rocker decides he's going to tell everyone that he made an alliance with the other tribe.
He's a smart man, I told you. But what else did he do in saying that? He showed a clip of him from the last week, and he says, I don't know, I told her to use her idol. She didn't use it.
You were right. You were right. I had a hard time believing him was that dumb, but you were right. He's just that dumb.
Yeah. And I mean, he proved even more how dumb he is by just outing himself, which luckily his tribe sat there and was just like, what? Kind of like, we had absolutely no idea. They thought he was an idiot for like calling himself out on that. Like, what? So what would he be trying to do there? Would he be trying to save himself a spot with Jeremy? Or is it just sheer stupidity?
I think it's sheer stupidity. Last week I tried to understand, and I gave him way too much benefit of the doubt, and you're right, he was an idiot, so I'm going with that now.
Yeah, why did he even like, why didn't he just sit there in silence?
No, yeah, he didn't need to say any of that. He's just an idiot. You're right. He's just an idiot. Jesus. He can't help it.
And later in the episode, he does. We'll probably talk about that in a little bit. But he just doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. He's an idiot. He's so dumb. He's so dumb.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Last week we talked that the fishing gear would probably show its head again, and it did.
Oh yeah.
Taking it.
Amazingly.
Would you have done that? Comfort versus fishing.
Hell yeah! Like that's a no-brainer trade. I mean, they needed to give something. They needed to put that fishing gear up with something else, or the comfort up with something else. Like comfort or.
Do you think comfort will come back next week?
Yeah, I'm sure comfort will come back next week, and I'm trying to think of what it's going to go with, like, because now they're getting into the point where it's going to be like coffee, spices, blah blah blah, like all that stuff. And comfort versus comfort is good,
right?
Fishing gear versus comfort.
Yeah, no.
I have seen an episode of Survivor before. I don't remember if it was fishing gear, but they took comfort over something that was like.
I remember that. Was
it
there was a tarp included. If I remember right. I think the tarp is what sold them because they had been having trouble with rain.
No, I want to say that it was like comfort versus a tarp, and their concept was, well, we haven't been getting rained on yet.
It was pillows and shit. Yeah, and they did get rained on after that, and it just like soaked their pillows or something. I remember that. I remember that now. Yeah,
and. I mean, that's Survivor dumb move, probably way up there. It also might have been the season where they had a huge Texas flag that they could use as a tarp. I don't know.
No, that was Australia, I think.
Yeah, that was pretty early on. Like one of the reasons that they can you imagine like back when you could have comfort items. Like, I mean, who knows? You probably still can have some basic comfort items, but I'm sure they're more scrutinizing them. But what was he? There was Kobe, right? Is that who that guy was? I think that was his name. I can't remember, but he shows up and he's like, yes, my comfort item is a 50-foot wide Texas flag. And they're like, oh, yeah, sounds good. Like, can't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, well, it was just a flag.
Yeah, just a flag? What was it? It was so big. Where was he going to hang that thing at? How can they not be like, what does he have planned with this thing? Like, no, I couldn't be thinking of anything.
But it didn't really hurt the game. It didn't even get burned up. That was a season where they burned up their damn camp, wasn't it?
They took it. They took their entire camp away because they ran out of, like, they ruined all their food. So Jeff came out. It was one of the early ones, and I think he realized that one of the challenges, they were literally dying.
Yeah,
because that was before they gave them supplies of water, and it was like, really, you're in charge of your own water. And Jeff showed up and was like, "Look, I'll give you food because you guys are messed up, but you have to give me everything else." And they were like, "Yes, please." Because they were like, they were literally dying. But either way, that was.
I'd actually forgot about that. No, I was thinking about the season. It must not have been that season, but it was a season very early on where they had been stockpiling wood for the campfire. Like they were going to live there for fucking 10 years. They had so much,
and all the wood caught on fire.
Yeah, it burned everything up. Their entire camp was just a pile of ash when they came back.
Yeah, I don't remember what season that was, but yeah, I think their tarp did go up as well. I don't think it was the flag though, but I think it was a tarp that they had won. I can't remember though. I'm not like, all the seasons like meshed together. In my mind.
Yeah. I wish they would. I kind of wanted them to go back to another season where they're in the plains like that. It's been a long time since they haven't been on a beach. You know what I mean?
It has been. I think it's because I think people like the beach.
I do. It's just been. I don't know. I kind of liked that they had to build like defenses from the lions and stuff. I kind of wanted to see a lion like stalk them and them have to like get behind their sticks.
And they had to have somebody that stayed up all night.
Yeah.
Every time somebody stayed up all night and had to be on like lion lookout, which is funny because you hope you yell fast and loud as the people who are sleeping, because otherwise that person's like, "Guys, a lion!"
Everyone else wakes up to death.
Yeah, wasn't quite quick enough there. But I would be kind of upset if I went to Survivor and I was like in the middle of the desert and not on the beach.
Yeah, but you're not going there to get a beach vacation, or you're not supposed to be, at least.
No, but I mean it'd be because that also, it wasn't even like a beautiful landscape. Like that's part of the appeal of Survivor is like, wow, it's like always a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I think it's fun still. But yeah, so then when they get back, Julia,
well, would you would have taken the fishing gear too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no question.
Because I know you wouldn't have taken a flint because you wanted to eat raw fish. No, I would have taken the fishing
gear over that. Which, a lot of comments said that, according to previous contestants on the show, when your flint runs out, you just ask for a new one. They give you one.
Yep, I heard the same thing.
But maybe that's not the case if you lose it. Maybe if you lose it, that's a different circumstance. That's just never happened before.
I can't imagine that's never happened, but
I know, right?
But and maybe they could have just asked for one. They just didn't.
Yeah, maybe. Right. They just fucked it over. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, everyone after they get back to camp, everyone hates her because her husband's an idiot. I don't even understand why they hated her because her husband's an idiot. I mean, they get back and then I can't remember his name, but he starts basically telling everyone, well, John's a bigot.
Jeremy like talks about
because he's pissed because his wife went home.
Right.
John's fault.
So, from what I heard, he is a character in real life. Like apparently his Twitter account is like full of the most ridiculous like hating words that exist. Like his real life or John Rocker.
Oh,
that he's apparently this is who he truly is. Like he's this.
Oh yeah, me and my wife looked up because we didn't know what the hell, because we don't watch sports of any type, so we didn't know of any of this controversy or any of this stuff. So we looked up all these comments he's made, and he said a sentence that offended everyone. I can't remember the sentence, but just assume you've been offended, Jeff, because he included everyone. It was like blacks and women's and children and humans should all die, because I don't remember what he said.
Well,
but it was he included everything.
Well,
Gays, you name it, it was all in one sentence.
And that was the past. People can come back from things like that, but obviously he's just continuing that stereotype, because one thing we didn't mention last week is when he lost to Julie, and he's like, and Jeff Probst was like, so John, how's it feel to lose to your girlfriend? And he's like, it's not, like, take off the friend part. I lost to a girl.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it is kind of like.
Well, I mean, he
really?
probably always will be, right?
Really?
Yeah, you're right. The people can change, but I guess if you, I mean, once you're like 40 and you had that type of shit like ingrained in your head, you're probably not going to. I would imagine. I don't know. I don't know how old he is
So
either.
what do you think about Julie? Let's because it's hard because people.
I thought it was his wife.
Is his
So she,
girlfriend?
oh, well,
Yep.
she can just leave then at least.
Well, but I mean, so she's with him, and people can change. You can't judge them for the past. Obviously, he's not showing us that he's changed too much. Do you think she's a little bit like racist on the
I
undertone?
did
Or
not notice that.
I
Maybe
haven't noticed that at all either. But she obviously knows about his
that's
past and
what
the
I was so
things he
confused about.
says.
That's why I thought it was his wife. She was just like, well, fuck, I've been here 10 years. I can't go now, so I'm stuck. But if she's the girlfriend, then I don't even
But who
understand.
knows? She might have been there for 10 years as well. I don't know how long they've been dating for. I have no idea. But yeah, she's the girlfriend. Maybe he just doesn't want to ever marry anybody.
Maybe,
I don't
maybe.
know.
Yeah, I don't know enough about them, but she does not seem. I mean, really, he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't seem as bad as the shit I read on the internet about him. Basically, I mean, he does. He seems like a fucking moron there, but she doesn't seem that bad at all, really. And she even seems like she's like, "Hey, idiot, shut up,
Yeah.
stop."
Yeah. And now she feels ostracized and outcast because of him. And I mean, rightfully so, because that puts a huge target on her back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I feel like she'll go home probably pretty quick, right? Who went home this week?
So,
Pretty well this week.
so John Rocker went home this week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
And that's what I was going to say. So, spoiler alert again, John, he went home. People got smart. I think she had a huge target on her back. And now that he got voted out, I think she might be good to go. Because
Yeah.
no longer
That-
are people going to
yeah,
judge
you're
her
right.
based on him.
Right.
So now I think she's playing her own game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could be completely wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
People could
No,
hold
I
judge.
mean, that's the thing. They don't really have anyone else on their tribe that they're really like, we don't like. She's been the only one they don't like, really, right?
And they haven't gone to tribal yet either. So it's going to be
Right.
interesting to see when they do.
They
Because,
that's the thing too. With this game, you know, we go to tribal this day, and someone may have accidentally sneezed in someone else's face, and that person convinced everyone else that they need to go home.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So you never know.
if I
what the
was
hell's
them,
gonna.
if I was them though, I'm with you from the beginning, Natalie. If they when Hanapu goes to tribal, get Natalie fucking out of there. I mean, they win a challenge. Granted, she's trying to persuade the other side to get rid of John.
Why do they even have that agenda? What the fuck does it matter? It doesn't help them in any way for the other tribe to get rid of John, does it? Am I missing something? How does that help them?
No, it doesn't. It helps Jeremy feel a little bit better.
Yeah, great.
And that's pretty much it. But not only does she just kind of go out there and flap her big ass mouth just about random shit like over and over and over again, but she goes out there to specifically continue to yell.
Yeah.
Why don't you say some racist stuff, asshole? Like pretty
Right,
much is like
yeah.
what she keeps saying. And it's like at one point it got way over the top, and then it didn't get over the top because maybe she accomplished her exact goal, because then John Rocker's like, I'll punch you in the face if you're a man. And like he's like, tear this shit down, let's go right now. Like he was like, he just couldn't keep his mouth shut yet again, another part of his downfall. Had he just sat there and been like,
The thing was, though, Natalie didn't even know anything about him until Jeremy told her.
right.
So that's just bullshit to me. It's bullshit. You don't go. They're in the middle of the fucking jungle, so you can't even check his. You're just taking this guy's fucking opinion at face value. I mean, it just so happens that he was accurate, but he could have told her anything. He could have told everyone anything.
Well, hell, there's a perfect strategy for Survivor.
Yeah.
Find somebody who acts like an asshole and then just tell everybody that he's made all these racist comments on that. If you the bigger you make it, because they could just be like, he ran for the president a couple years ago and he got kicked out of the race because he killed his girlfriend. Like
Yeah.
just something so big and ridiculous that it couldn't possibly not be true. And people are gonna be like, oh my God, get that guy out of here.
Right. Yeah, it's bullshit. But that just shows what an idiot she is too.
Yep. But she's safe, and I think that's part of the problem is they lost one total challenge because they lost the reward challenge. The letting Koyopa finally get a reward, but they've won every other challenge, including the 3 immunity challenges now. So do you think they start feeling too safe?
Yeah, I think that happens I love the seasons where that happens to the point that they start talking about throwing challenges too. They get so tired of the people they're stuck with because they're not losing. They let's just throw one, and then they fuck it. They every time they throw a challenge, it ruins the game.
Yeah, they somehow think that that's a good idea. Hell, there was one season where they won a challenge and they gave up the immunity. That had to be. I think Jeff was so confused because he even straight up said, he's like, this has to be a unanimous decision to be able to do this. Obviously, somebody's going home. If you even thought you might be up to go home, why would you ever agree to that?
And it wasn't that the season that was Russell Hance's nephew that they were doing that over, wasn't it?
Wasn't
that
I
after?
don't think so. It was the first season with Colton. It was the one where they lived on the same, like the tribes were guys and girls, and they were literally like living on the same beach.
Right. Well, why were they going? What? Who did they want to get rid of? I can't remember that now.
I don't remember. Basically, one of the guys was telling too much information to the girls, or telling the girls he was going to try to come over to their side, and because I remember there was like a 5 foot tall dude in that season, and they somehow made everybody say that it was okay to give up their immunity because they convinced the guy that they actually wanted to send home that they were doing this because of like the short dude. I don't remember his name. I just remember him being a really short dude, and they convinced him that he was who they were trying to get rid of. He did something so horrible they couldn't live with him for another minute. So the guy was like, "Okay, yeah, let's go to tribal," and it was actually because of him. And they were like, "Sucker!" Like. I
just want to rewatch that because it's just so insane.
I thought it was. I almost stopped watching that season because I was like, I can't watch a people who work like this. This is so bad. It's not even just a dumb move in Survivor history. It is literally like you all should be kicked off the show right now. And just if anybody from your tribe is up for the final 3, you should automatically lose for allowing such stupidity to take place. So any throwing of challenges I'm completely against because it ruins your strength.
Right. You should never want to lose, I don't think. Yeah.
Unless okay, so I guess it could be okay in one circumstance. Two. Redemption Island. I've seen people throw challenges before in order to send somebody over there to win. That's a good strategy. It's risky, but I understand that where you're coming from with that. Or if you somehow know the merge is tomorrow and you're pretty tied up and you have somebody on your side who you know is switching.
Where you merge and there's like 7-3 or something. So getting rid of them, you'll still be fine.
Or if you know if you know that somebody on your tribe is jumping ship and going over there, there's a strategy behind that. Whereas I've never actually seen, besides the ones when they sent Ozzy to Redemption Island, but I've never actually seen them throw a challenge for any reason that was actually good.
Yeah.
Never seen it before.
One thing that I noticed this last week, and it's been the whole season, and I want to bring it up, is I don't know how I feel about the fact that it's the team part of the season, and every challenge is singles. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the team game, but they're not playing team game.
You're right.
They've just done a team versus team challenge at all.
Very first one.
What was that?
Where they had to like climb up the wall.
Oh yeah.
Very first one. And I think that's it. You're right. I didn't even think about that. And I'm not a fan of the way that these go. Let's tie 2 people together and have it be 2v2, and like that's it. Like last week, it was a 1v1. Let's push each other off with a pillow.
Right.
Which, by the way, rumor has it that was actually out of best of 3 in each one of those rounds from last week.
Really?
And they cut it down to just for editing purposes. Like I've heard that they changed a lot of the no. Each person versus person was best of 3.
Right, but then but even Jeff said at the start, first 1 to 5 wins.
Right, so best of 3, like you have to win 2 out of 3, and that's considered 1 win if you win 2 out of 3 against one person. Like when Baylor went up against
amazing editing.
Well, when Baylor went up against her mom, apparently there was 3 rounds, which changes concepts of how that whole thing went down. But I've heard that they do this on Survivor a lot, that they never change the outcome, but they change the editing to fit better, make better TV. Which
I guess it would give them more to work with editing wise. Because if you do one round and you just push them off, it's like, well, that's fucking boring.
Right.
But the next one they get really into it, and the same person wins that ends the 2 out of 3. That's the thing though. You can only show the win from the person that won.
Right. Which also means that John Rocker got his ass kicked twice, which I find hilarious because he lost that challenge.
See, that's the thing. If they're gonna do that, I would rather just know, even if I'm not gonna see it. Like I've accepted you're gonna edit tons of the show out. Obviously, it's 3 days condensed into 45 minutes. But I want to see it.
You're a rational person, though. I think most of America who watches Survivor would get pissed.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the challenge that they actually did this week. What'd you think about the way that they went about this challenge?
Well, I never like the tied thing together. I never like it when two people are tied together because a lot of times they pair people in a way where one guy's getting drug along or stuff like that. So I never really care for that. And also John, another reason why John probably should have been voted out. In fact, maybe that's why Natalie, you know what? That's probably what sparked Natalie more than anything. I mean, she'd already been fed all the stuff, but then after John comes in and fucking sideswipes the other teammate, you know, when they're crawling through like an asshole, then that probably set him off a little bit, right?
Right. I mean, and their whole team was talking on the side after he did that.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I don't not like the challenge they did. I thought it was kind of a cool thing. You have to make the shot. You have to keep going to get the ball if you miss and that type of thing. So yeah, I did not like that. I thought that whenever they did the rematch towards the end, I thought it was pretty much a done deal because of how it went the first time, but I was definitely wrong.
So I was very confused. They connected Josh with Baylor. They flew through that course at the very beginning like that. That's the Coyopa's team. That was their group that ran twice, Josh and Baylor.
But they never got it right, Josh and Baylor.
No, they never got it right. But they also flew through the course, and then I'm thinking, okay, Josh gives the ball to Baylor.
Right.
To shoot, which I was kind of like, not to be stereotypical, like, oh, girls can't play sports or anything like that, but she is just this little girl who doesn't look like the most athletic person in the world. And obviously she the ball doesn't even make it halfway to the basket. It's like, bloop.
Right, so, and he did it twice. That's what I didn't understand. The first time I did it was okay. Right. Maybe she said, I'm really good at basketball.
Right. The second time, and then they give it to her again. And granted, she almost does make it this time, but they did the same mistake twice. Josh looks like he's more of an athletic person. Take a shot.
Yeah. I thought that they were going up against the same people each time, and I was apparently wrong now that I'm looking at it written down.
Yeah, I think that they could just choose whoever they went, like who they were sending in again.
Right. Because, like the first time it was John and Natalie versus Josh and Baylor, and then it was Jeremy and Kelly versus Josh and Baylor.
Yeah. Either way, I thought the challenge was anticlimactic for the aspect of, again, it wasn't one of those super well thought out challenges. It was crawl under a bunch of shit and then they throw a basket in a hoop. But way better than just a pillow fight in the water.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see
I think
cool
that after this many seasons, it's got to be hard to come up with these challenges, right? To some degree.
Yeah.
I really like the ones where it's like 7 phases and you're using something to get through each phase. Like you start with a key, and then your key unlocks this thing, and then the thing that you unlocked unlocks another thing. You know what I mean? Like,
and then at the end, you have to put together like the most elaborate puzzle in Survivor history. Like, no, I know what you mean. I like those too. Or building, like, I really like the ones where they're in the jail and they have to build a stick to go, like,
oh, really?
And I find
those are silly.
Well, because they always say something like, you have to at least maintain some body part within, like, the jail cell when you do this. So they send, like, these girls through the bars and, like, leaving a foot in or something like that. And it's like... It just always makes me laugh. I'm like, look at this jail that they're in, that they're pretty much like out of when they're retrieving these keys. It always makes me laugh. But I like the concept to see who can build these like really cool sticks and.
Yeah. I like the ones where they have to build the towers too.
The towers are nice.
Like you think that you know who's gonna win sometimes, and it doesn't happen.
Right.
Like they're like one card away, and then it just all falls. And
So again, Hanapu, whatever it is, wins this challenge and sends Coyopa back to tribal council for the 3rd time in a row, which we've already stated that who gets like voted out here.
Right.
You think that was the right decision?
I don't know. I kind of wanted to see Baylor go personally, but I mean, was she even up?
Yeah, she was.
Oh yeah.
She was who they basically convinced John, like everybody had agreed that they were getting rid of Baylor.
Right.
And then John came up with an idol in his pocket.
Right, I keep forgetting about them fucking idiot with the island pocket. Like, so here's the thing: you go in, you're confident that they're not going to vote for you, and I always try to keep in mind that what we saw was probably 4 or 5 hours edited into the tribal council of 10 minutes. But it was very clear where people were going by what they were saying, and if you're not an idiot, you should realize that and play your idol. Like it really seemed like everyone was kind of saying, "Yeah, we're going to vote for John." It was funny. Jacqueline's quote, her actual quote was, "Grow some balls and vote one of the guys out. Stop picking on me and Baylor."
Yes, she did say that. Well, so you knew that Jacqueline and Baylor were going after one of the guys. Like, that was a given.
Yeah.
So John, obvious thing. I think he really thought he had the guys locked in with him. I think we've already established he's delusional and he's an idiot. So I'm pretty sure in his mind he was completely safe. The second he saw his name for the third time, he was like, "Oh crap!" And then I think what they only showed 4 because
that's enough.
Yeah, that was enough. It was done at that point. Like, everybody else voted for him. Well, you know what? There was 2 for Baylor.
Dale also voted for Baylor.
That's right, because they didn't keep him in the loop. Which is he the next to go?
Probably, basically, unless they smart up and get rid of Baylor. Baylor is the most worthless person on that tribe.
I agree. I completely agree that she's worthless. No, I forgot that Dale voted for Baylor still. Like, they're really keeping him on the outside of this thing. So, idol goes out in somebody's pocket. Does it come back in the game?
Yeah. Yep. Instantly, it goes right back in the game.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I think usually
it always has. It always has.
Not when they go out in somebody's pocket. When they go out in somebody's...
it has. It definitely has.
Are you sure? I'm
100% sure in the past, whenever it's going out in their pocket, it still comes back into the game.
I know when they use them, they come back instantly.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see what's going to happen.
I'm almost positive now. I don't want to say for 100% certainty because I can't exactly remember.
You said 100%. It's done.
I feel 100%. If I had to bet, I'm 100% confident of that, but I'm not 100% sure.
I feel it should. And I've also recalled being upset in seasons where I'm like, this person got voted out with the idol, and now the idol's just gone. You never brought another one back into play.
God, I'm trying to remember what season it was where the guy got voted out with it.
With 2 idols in his pocket? I don't think they brought it back in that one. That was a while ago, granted. That was in like the teens or something like that. So
yeah. I don't remember. I'm not sure. There's enough people watching that someone will know.
Would you be upset if one didn't come back?
Yeah. I think they should. If not, once the idol's out of the game, it should come back. Because no one even knows. No one even knows that he got. No one knows he had that idol.
No one has a freaking clue that he has the idol. And now, does that change things in the game?
I guess actually be. Honestly, from a viewer perspective, it'd probably be more interesting if it didn't come back at this point, because now everyone wants to know where the fuck the idol is.
Exactly.
Someone's got it because we can't find it.
Because those clues would have to change on Redemption Island whatever island that is, Exile Island, because of the fact that the same clue leads for both camps. If you replay, do you just go put it back in the exact same spot?
Right.
Because then that's kind of unfair, because what if somebody already dug there because they had enough clues and it was gone and they were like, well, shit, it must not be here. Can you expect them to go back again because they might have placed it?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Because you're right. They would have to change the clues. And they could change the clues for the other camp and just not put an idol there yet, because the other idol's already been found. So they could change the clues to... Because they already have picked out the next location, right? They probably pick out like 10 or something before they even start airing.
But that would have to, since they get to choose the pots at Exile, how would they?
Yeah, no, I know. They'd have to let's say the new location is in this blue cup. So on both camps, there's a blue cup, but on camp 1, that idol's been found and is still in the game, nothing gets put in the blue cup because that idol's still in play on that camp. But on camp where John Rocker was, they put the idol in the blue cup. Does that make sense?
But then
then I understand what you're saying. So let's say idol gets played on the other tribe, and now it's a game. So now we put in now it's in the Fiji bottle. I have this is what I got. So now on John Rocker's camp, they found the one in the blue cup. And so now we're on aisle number 3, right? So on the other camp, the camp that still has Natalie in it, they put it in the Fiji bottle, but they don't put anything in the Fiji bottle on John Rocker's camp because the one was in the blue cup, and that's where it was found. You know what I'm saying?
You know what they might be able to do with this one, though? Because this one's not actually giving direct clues, are they? Isn't it telling you to look?
Kinda. It's like
it's telling you to look at symbols, and certain symbols mean certain things. Could they just go change the symbols?
I guess though, yeah. There's that too, right? Yeah.
I think it just got really blurry.
I did too. You're super blurry, and the call quality is complete crap now.
I don't know. Trying to make it autofocus, and I don't know what's going on. I should have just pop my green screen back on and go invisible. I'll be fine.
We'll probably almost done anyway, so just wrap it up here.
So John Rocker, I'm glad they got rid of John Rocker.
Yeah,
fucking idiot, man. I can't believe how dumb that guy is. And I seriously, at the very beginning of the show, when he was sitting there in that confessional, and he was just like, I told her to play it. She didn't play it. She's an idiot. She went out with one in her pocket, like, which foreshadowing. But he thinks she went out with an idol in her pocket because he's that dumb. Right. And I was like, Guude's gonna be flipping his shit right now because he's gonna realize that he is that stupid.
Yeah. I found it hard to believe, but yeah, you're right. You're right. It was, just to backtrack just a little bit. When the Exile Island this time, we had, was it Keith or Dale? And I can't remember the two guys that went, but it was funny because they were equally stereotyping each other.
Right.
Like the one guy's like, I can't believe me and this gay guy are getting along. And the other guy's like, can't believe me and this hick are getting along. And it's like, wow, you both are just the same. Like, you're both stereotyping the other person. Neither one of you are right. You're both assholes.
And I think the funniest thing was Wes is the one who put that pair together because he said, I clicked with Josh really well. I'm sure my dad will too. Like, Wes is living in the exact same place because he keeps saying, like, don't get many of those guys down in Louisiana or wherever he's, like, from. Wes obviously isn't fazed by it and lives in the same area.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. It's just funny. But yeah, I think that's probably about it. That's all I got for this week, at least.
I think that's all I got as well. The only other thing I'm curious, though, that editing is always like going to be interesting. But I did actually watch for the first time the scenes from the next Survivor. I usually don't watch those at all.
Really?
But I think it was just, I don't like to get my hopes up or for something I think is going to happen that doesn't because of clever editing. But they did make you look like it's going to be entertaining with more possible, like, ridiculous traits. Because one of the guys, he says, hold on, Jeff, we got something to say, like, right before they start a challenge. Yeah. So I'm really curious what's coming up in next week.
Beyond hope, I want them to have lost their flint again. I want you to be right that there's someone. But see, my wife, I told her what you said.
They're going to be like, we lost our flint and fishing gear. Can we trade like 5 beans for them, please?
Yeah. Well, I brought up to her what you said about, maybe someone's hiding the flint and the cameraman knew and they're going to show us later. There's no way they're going to do that. And she had made a very good point. They don't hide stuff like that from the viewer because the viewer gets to know everything. They only hide that type of stuff from the contestants. So if there was something like that going on, they would show us because it only makes us more excited, not less.
That's true. And I was really reaching with that one, but it still baffles me how you lose the flint. It goes to the fire.
I agree.
That's it.
I agree.
It's for the fire.
I feel like someone had to have been drunk, but there's no alcohol. So yeah. Yeah,
it's probably just in the bottom of the fire pit. He probably put it next to it, and it got kicked in, and it's just under the ashes. Right. It's gotta be right there.
Right. Right. Maybe that's what they're gonna show. Maybe they're gonna say, "We found our flint. Can we trade our other flint for some fishing gear?"
We have fishing gear. It's broken now.
Right.
No, so I'm excited to see what's coming up, and hopefully don't get disappointed because they didn't like cleverly edit something and nothing like that even happens, which happens all the time on Hell's Kitchen. I always get so excited for the next episode because they show this next time the biggest brawl in Hell's Kitchen history, and it shows like people up in each other's faces, and it's really like them telling a joke to each other, like. When the next episode happens, he's like pretending to be Gordon Ramsay, and that was the biggest brawl. And,
right.
So,
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I cannot believe you don't even have a face on my screen. I don't know how I look on yours.
No, you look absolutely fine on my screen. It's I look like shit on mine, which is weird.
You look like complete crap.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe it knows I'm tired from work and I have to go to work again. So it's like, let's just make him look like crap because that's what he feels like. All right, everybody. Next week, stay tuned.
See you next week.
Bye.